Episode 3437, Answer God's Call.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. It is Sweet Spirit Sunday, and I hope you're ready to tune in to God's message, what He has in store for you. Sometimes we just need to break away from all the clutter in our mind and listen into Him, His divine connection. Answer God's call. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, you know, life can just get crazy, and we can be bombarded with just stuff. Maybe it's your air conditioning not working. Maybe it's working overtime. I know I actually raised the temperature in our house so it wouldn't have to work so hard, because the heat right now that we're having, it's just extraordinarily, high for the month of June. And then I think about just stuff as kids, and you've got activities and you've got commitments in the community, and maybe you had a garage sale. Maybe you're like, no, I'm on vacation, Christiane, and I really don't want to think about any of that. And you're reminding me all the stuff that I need to be doing. Okay, take a deep breath, because at this moment right now, God has a message for you. I don't know what that is, but He does. And so these are not my words, these are His words. So I want you to think of this time that you have with God is connecting your heart with Him. That's why we carve out Sweet Spirit Sunday. That's why we make time. Not that we're not making time every single day. We need to do that. But we also need to make the time to say, okay, Lord, where am I? Where do you want me to go? When was the last time you asked God, hey, where do you want me? Exodus 3 verse 5 says this, "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Just as Moses, are you willing to answer God's call? Some background information on that particular verse, holy, that's where the first word holy is mentioned in the Bible. And God told Moses, do not come any closer, right? Because at this point, to see God, no, that was not a good thing. Jesus Christ had not come yet, and it would just kind of wash us away and be like, yeah, this is not good. We're not to see God's face. We can't absorb Him and who He is, right? We would be blinded by God Himself. But it goes on to say in Exodus 3 verse 6, "Then He said," He meaning God, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Now, if you're not familiar with this particular time, Moses experienced the burning bush here. And all of a sudden, that burning bush is talking. Don't you think you'd be a little freaked out? And there he was standing in the presence of God. And God said, do not come any closer. God was like, you can't come any closer. Why? Because this is holy ground. I need to get your attention. Take off your sandals. I need you to pay attention. I need you to be grounded in me, not in all this other stuff that's happening around you. But I need you to listen in and tune in. How many times have you been in the presence of God and hid your face? Maybe from shame. Maybe you've been disappointed with yourself, so you're like, I just can't be in the presence of God. And I'm not talking about the way Moses was in the presence of God. But maybe you were hiding from God. You didn't want to pray because you were concerned of like, gosh, God sees me like this. And I know He sees everything, but we still try to hide things. How many times have you heard from God what you're supposed to do, but you hesitate with every possible excuse? I'm too old, I can't do that, Lord. Nope, there's not enough time, not enough energy. Nope, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. This isn't what you want me to do. I know it's not. I'm just not the right person for the job. Do you think Moses kind of had that thought too? A lot of us forget that Moses was 80 years old when God met him in the burning bush. Kind of scary, huh, to think about that. If you're 79 and a half, you still got time. If you're 8 years old, you still got time. If you're 38 years old, you still got time. Excuses can lead our day in the wrong way, especially away from God. And I don't think most of us really think of it as running away from God, but if we're honest, it's just that. Now, I believe I wasn't there, obviously, but I think Moses was more than startled. I would have been freaked out. Have you ever had those weird moments or those thoughts like, gosh, what if that happened to me? Maybe I'm just the only one who has those thoughts. Where I read something in the Bible and then I start thinking about it. I'm like, gosh, if I was in that position and I start to think about it, gosh, if that was me, how would I respond? You know, the story of Moses serves as a poignant reminder that God's plans transcend age and expectation. It transcends everything. All your excuses. It transcends even your knowledge. You think you know everything, but you really don't. You don't know what you don't know, but God knows. And at 80 years old, Moses received a divine call to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. It's never too late to answer when God calls. But if you're living in your excuses, you're saying it is too late. What's God been putting on your heart lately? You know, for many of us believers, discerning God's call can be, just exhausting. It can be a daunting task. It can be confusing, right? The busyness of our everyday life can drown out the divine whispers, leaving us questioning if we are truly aligned with God's will. You know, it's during these moments of uncertainty that we must turn to prayer. Get on your knees, maybe literally and even figuratively. Quiet the clutter around you, all the noise. Seek that clarity and guidance in your journey. God's call may not always make sense to us, but it is our faith and trust in Him where the journey continues forward. A lot of times we're just trying to pretend that we know what we're doing. And we want to stop that journey forward. We want to go sideways because we really don't want to do what God keeps saying, hello, I'm trying to get your attention here. But you don't want to listen. Hello. Sometimes the most profound callings are the ones that challenge our assumptions and push us beyond our comfort zones. Are you one who feels like, Lord, yeah, this job thing that you want me to do, yeah, I'm not qualified. That's your opinion. What's God's? Maybe He wants you to write a book and you've had this come up and you've had people say, you know what, you really should write a book. And, months pass, you really should write a book. Years pass, you really should write a book. Maybe there's a thing there. Maybe you should really write a book. But somehow we let our own desires, our own expectations, our own assumptions get in the way. We like to stay in our comfy chair. Doesn't matter how broken down it is, but you know what? What if we were to step out of our chairs? What if we were to actually go and walk on holy ground and allow ourselves, our heart specifically, to be immersed in God's presence? As believers, it's our duty to remain receptive to God's voice, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Sometimes we just got to take the next step because one step at a time leads to miles of greatness. Are you willing to answer God's call? Yesterday it was really hot and I was enjoying a peaceful moment. I haven't had a peaceful moment, whether it was because of husband, let's be honest, because of kids, grandkids, traffic, because I've been traveling a lot, pets, just the visitation of people in my house because I need things to get done. And so there's been interruption after interruption. So whether that's delivery of packages, whether it's the bug lady, whether it's my shrub guy, my lawn guy, whatever guy, my pool guy, like all the interruptions that you could have. But there were none. And I went outside, was sitting next to the pool. We had recently cleared some of the dead trees in our tree line on our property. And I was just looking up there, and I was just truly amazed. I was like, you know what, Lord, I really thought I would miss those trees. Because I'm a tree guy. I don't want to get rid of trees. But if they are diseased, they need to go. Or if they're going to fall down or they're slowly dying, they need to go. But it still breaks my heart, because then I'm like, I cut down these big trees that were still technically alive, but it may be another, 6 months or 2 years before they really do any damage. But it's like, no, let's go ahead and be proactive. But I still, in all honesty, had that, gosh, I'm going to miss them. But as I laid there and I looked up into the blue sky with just these puffy white clouds, clear as anything, into the trees, they were so beautiful and green, and the leaves were just slightly moving. And I could hear the water from the pool trickling. We have a bubble feature, so it was just like bubbles. No pets around, no kids around, no husband around. It was just me and God. And I just said, Lord, what do you want from me? Where's my next step with you? Because I know the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, right? But now we're thinking, oh, wait, now we've got this empty spot, so we need to plant a tree. And I'm asking God, Lord, what is my next step? Where do you want me to show up? Where am I supposed to go at this moment in my life? What does it look like? I've got a lot of things I'm juggling. We're trying to get some stuff done here at Create You Now because things are blowing up in a good way. I mean, unless if you were on the website, I think it was 2 days ago, the website crashed. We had issues, so I apologize if you experienced that. That comes with growth. And in fact, I even prayed to God. I'm like, Lord, you take this. You've got technology in your hand. Maybe this is something that I need to understand. Maybe it's something I just need to give to you. But you see, if we don't ask God, if we don't align with his will, whose will are we living out? Our own? I want to do God's will here on earth. But in order to do that, I've got to be willing to answer God's call. So reflecting on your own life, my friend, when was the last time you felt called to something greater? I know you have been, but when was it? How did you choose to respond? Did you embrace the opportunity with open arms? Or did you shrink back in fear and self-doubt? Did you say, no, that is not for me. Now's not the right time. Got too many things going on. I'm not ready for this. Yet God says, don't come any closer because you're standing on holy ground. But I am God, and what I have for you, I need you to do. This is your mission. God's call is not always convenient or easily understandable. But it is up to us to have the faith and the courage to answer when he speaks. I mean, look at Moses. We're reminded that God's timing is perfect and his plans for us are beyond comprehension. We're not supposed to understand. I mean, I would like to think we will eventually, but it may not be until we go to the other side. So whether we're young or old, experienced or inexperienced, God can use us in remarkable, incredible ways if we are willing to trust in his will, to take that next step, just that one step. That doesn't mean that you're going to go and sell everything. And I mean, if God calls you to do that, then great. But some people are like, oh, they just go off the deep end. Just take the next step.